back to another beautiful episode of Ashley's Chronicles. Today you're actually getting back-to-back episodes from me this week. This is a subject that I really wanted to touch base on and really just have conversation with, because this is something that is very passionate to me, and this is going to be going out to all of my single parents out there. This is a topic that I shared on a live on my social media, and I felt the need that this is something that everyone needs to hear. This is something that everyone needs to talk about. So this is for me to just give out my, encouragement, words of wisdom, I guess, in my own way, and just love to all of you single moms, dads out there that are just getting through each and every day. So we're gonna hop into this episode, so see you in a second. So, like I said, I wanted to do this next episode really in subject for all my single parents out there. I don't ever want to try to just single out like single moms, because there are some pretty dope and amazing single dads out there too that are just as much contributing as a single mom. So I entitled this episode PSA to Single Parents. I had shared this on a live on my social media a few days ago after I celebrated my daughter's birthday, because it was something that was on my heart, and I definitely feel like this is something that should continuously be discussed, because I think a lot of times single parents, and even myself, we get into this guilt mode because we think we're not doing enough. We think that we have to we think that we have to just be this superhero, that we are just to fulfill every single possible need. And yes, we wear our own pretty much superhero capes, trying to juggle it all, working, taking care of the kids, making sure they have food to eat, clothes to wear, making sure they're doing well in school, and trying to compensate for so many different things. I shared this, like I said, originally because, I had celebrated my daughter's birthday, her turning 13. And there comes this thing, when holidays roll around, when, birthdays come around, just whatever it is that is going on in our kids' lives, especially if you are also co-parenting with another person. It all ties in together, and we feel like, in a sense, that if we aren't doing the same amount, or if not more, like the other parent, we're failing as their parent. We're not doing our job. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do it all. That it's not about being the best. It's not about how much more money you can spend. It's not about how much glitz and glam you can do as their parent. You know what they're gonna most remember us for is our presence. Our presence is gonna be more important. Biggest thing I said was, quality over quantity, or quality versus quantity. Like, they are gonna care more about that quality one-on-one time that you spend with them versus how much you spent on them. Because you know what? Those materialistic things are going to fade away. Those things aren't going to last in the next 10 years. Things that they had when they were little, they're not going to use in this next stage. Like, there are toys and clothes and things that my kids had when they were like 4 and 5 that they don't use anymore. Even so much as like technology, just different things. We feel like if we don't buy them the latest game system or the latest cell phone, that they're not going to love us. And, especially now me having a teenager, they're going to go through those stages where they're going to be like, oh, you're ruining my life. This is awful. You're the worst parent. They're going to say that. They're going to say that regardless if you are a single parent or if you were in a relationship or if you were married to your significant other still. They're going to go through those phases, so it shouldn't make a difference. But the reality is that they genuinely care so much more about the time that is spent, about the different things, the bonding moments, those memorable moments that cannot get taken away. It's going to be when you show up to their game, when the other person may not come because whatever reason, if they're unable to. It's you showing up to their school play that they're going to remember. It's you showing up to that recital that they think is silly, but you are over there cheering them on, hooping and hollering, and with the biggest smile on your face. That is what they're going to remember. It's going to be them remembering you showing up to their honor roll assembly. That is what they're going to remember. They're going to remember you sitting at the table playing a board game, even if you lose or even if you whoop their butt in the board game. They are going to remember those moments. It's going to be you sitting in the kitchen baking with them or cooking in the kitchen with them. Whatever it is, I don't care what it is. It is going to be those non-materialistic things that they are going to remember for the rest of their lives. Sure, they may talk about, oh yeah, I got the newest iPhone, oh I got the newest PlayStation or the newest Xbox. Sure, they may talk about that temporarily, but when they become adults, when they have their own kids, when they're around their friends, they are going to remember those minor things. They are going to remember how much of an impact it is that you really made on their life. They're going to remember those simple things, not how much money is spent. Yes, kids are kids and they're gonna wanna ask for the world, and you're not gonna always be able to give them the world. You're not, and you shouldn't have to. But they're going to remember that quality time you spent with them. And one of the biggest things that your kids are going to appreciate you as a single parent is making sure you are taking care of yourself, making sure that your cup is full. I think one of the biggest things that I have learned since being a single mom is that if my cup isn't full, if I'm not filling my tank, my mental tank, my emotional tank, whether it's me going to work out, which I do like to do, whether it's me listening to an audiobook, listening to a podcast, but just giving time for myself, self-care, I can't do what I need to do as my kid's mom. And that is something that you as a single mom or a single dad, whatever, have to remember to do. Is you have to make sure you fill that cup inside of you, because you cannot run a ship on an empty tank. You can't drive your car on an empty tank. And that's the reality of it. If you're driving an actual car and the car is on empty, it's not going to run the same as if your car is full of gas. And that is the same thing. You have to maintenance yourself, just like you would maintenance a car. You've got to make sure you check that oil. You are checking the rotors. You're checking the brakes. If there is a piece of you that is not running like it should, you need to fix it. Because at the end of the day, your kids need you to be present. And if you are running on dry, you are doing a disservice, not just to them, but to yourself. And it's just going to be very stressful. And I understand through times like right now, where income is tight, where finances aren't where they may want to be, where you may want them to be. I've been going through the same thing as a single mom. It's okay. And it's going to be okay. Don't feel like you are by yourself in this struggle. Don't feel like you're alone. And I think that's something that a lot of parents think, is that they're by themselves in this fight. There are plenty of single parents out here that are going through it too, but they don't ever want to share about it. And I think that's sad that we're so afraid to talk about the struggles and to talk about how sometimes we are sad and sometimes we just feel alone. I admit that there were days and there's moments sometimes where I wish that I had a partner here at the house to vent to and to just be there with me on the days that my kids are with their dad. I wish I had a significant other that would just, help me out sometimes. But then at the same time, I don't want that just to be the only reason if I have another person here. I want them to add to the joy, not fulfill it. I want to be fulfilled by myself, and I'll tell you what, I'm doing just wonderful by myself, and I'm completely content by myself. And if another person decides to join our party, great. If not, it is still okay. And that is something that I want you to always know too, is that you don't need somebody to fulfill you. That's where self-love comes in. That's where taking care of yourself comes in. Because if you start taking care of yourself, start filling your cup, start doing what you need to do, I promise you the right person will come along. And you won't need to rely on them to fulfill all those needs that you think you need. You and your kids are doing just fine. I promise. And here's the biggest thing. Look at your kids' faces. Because you know how you're gonna know that you're doing a great job as a parent? Is their smile, the look on their face every day. Yes, you are going to get the eye rolls and the sighs and the oh my gosh and the attitude. I had it this morning when I was just dropping my kids off at school. One was happy-go-lucky, bye mom, love you, have a great day. And then I had the other one that was griming and grumping and just having all kinds of nonsense too, because they were just like, oh, it's just that kind of morning. And it happens. You're going to experience that. But you know what? Those are temporary. Those hoops and hollers and the eye rolls, those are temporary. But you know what's gonna really matter is just look at their face, the way that they look at you, those hugs that they give you spontaneously, the I love yous that sometimes you're not expecting. Trust me, they are telling you. They may not always say it, but they are telling you by their face, the smiles, the hugs, the sometimes when you are getting on their nerves, they are telling you how thankful that they are for you, how much they love you through the depths of their soul. Your kids are telling you secretly. You may not always see it, and you may think that you are just not rocking this single parenthood, but trust me, you are doing a fantastic job. You don't need to compete with your ex for their affection because they love you just as much as they love the other parent, depending on the situation. If both of you are doing a great job, trust me, they love you both. They don't love one more than the other. I promise you. You don't need to compete with them. It's not a competition. And I thought, because, you know, sometimes, you know, my ex, he would do a lot more different things with them. And sometimes I thought, oh, I'm not doing enough. Just my mere presence was enough for them. And that's all that they needed. I didn't need to one-up him or do more than him, because that didn't matter. That's not always going to matter at the end of the day. It's about those memories, just building memories. Whether you go somewhere or not, even if you're just sitting at home, snuggled up on the chair or the couch, watching a movie or watching Netflix, whatever, that's what they're going to remember. You know also how you can tell that they love you? Just different little things, like I said. You know, my son, sometimes I'll catch him, I'll be sitting in my room just laying on the bed, and he'll just kind of like get up there with me, and then sometimes he'll just snuggle and fall asleep next to me. Those little things, those things you don't think about. You know, when they want to snuggle up next to you in the bed because they just want to spend as much quality time as they can with you. And just know, when they're going to their other parent's home, they're thinking about you. They're missing you. And vice versa. So just understand, they are thinking about you so much. They miss you so much. And they love you dearly. And you are doing a fantastic job. You are an amazing parent. And you need to continuously tell yourself that in the mirror every single day. When you are starting to doubt yourself, thinking that you're not doing a good job, you tell yourself, you look in the mirror and say, yes, I am. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not a great parent because you're not doing X, Y, and Z list on their unrealistic goals. Because unfortunately, there are plenty of people that are giving all of us single parents unrealistic goals and giving us these high, and they're expecting us to have this high circumstance of life that doesn't even exist. And most of the time, those people that are giving you these unrealistic goals, either one, don't have children, or two, are in a relationship and they are both providing. What they're experiencing cannot compare to what a single parent is experiencing. Yes, we all have our struggles, we all have our trials, we all have our stories. But they can't tell you what your story is like, versus no one can tell me what my story is. But just know, you are doing great. You are enough. You are a fantastic parent. Your kids love you to the depths of their soul. You mean everything to them. You mean the world to them. One big thing though I will say, and I said this, and you know, like I said, every relationship is different. Every co-parenting situation is different. because, you know, you may have a great co-parent and you may not have a great co-parent. I'm very thankful that me and my children's father have great communication in regards to our kids, and that we're able to work together to make sure that they're both properly provided for and taken care of and given what they need. Thankfully, I'm very thankful, and I know that not everyone can say the same thing. But one thing, regardless of anything, even if I don't agree with everything my children's father might say, one thing I will never do, and I try not to do, is ever talk poorly of him in front of them. And I think that is something we all need to remember, because here's the thing, that they're gonna hold on to. They're gonna hold on to how you spoke about their other parent. And if you speak poorly of them, that's not gonna always be the best reflection of you. And you don't want that. So just always speak highly, even if you don't agree. Even if your kids say something very unkind about their other parent, where they say, I hate my mom or my dad, my gosh, they're so mean. You don't add to it. You stop it. You stop it, and you tell them, hey, no, that is still your parent. You love them. You respect them. All of that. And trust me, they are going to have such more love and respect for you because you did that, because you spoke so positively about their parent. Even if you don't agree, even if you agree with what your kids are saying, always speak goodness about their parent, because remember, that is still their parent. That is somebody you still have to co-parent with till these kids get married and have their own lives. Well, even longer than that. So you never want to speak ill of the other person, even if you don't agree. You can have your feelings behind closed doors, but never around your kids, because you don't want that to be a reflection of you or on you, if that makes sense. But I just want to continuously remind you what an amazing job you're doing, what a great role model you're setting for your kids, and that they appreciate every sacrifice you make for them. They appreciate every time you show up for them. Every time, even if you are having a very hard day, you might just want to cry and hide in a corner. You are doing a great job by putting on the biggest smile on your face and just showing up for them, regardless of how you may be feeling inside. It's okay, though, to have your feelings. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have your sad moments. It's okay to have those feelings. It is okay. And it's also okay to keep it together in front of them. And then also, biggest, and also, oh my gosh, my brain just went boom. But also, the biggest thing that you just want to remember is that, I'm going to go into the next slide. Give me a second. The biggest thing that you want to do is lean onto another person that might also be a single parent. It's, you know what, I think when you join forces with other single parents that are maybe going through the same things, or somebody that has gone through a certain stage of your kid's life that's gone through it, it's good to lean to those. You know, I have a wonderful friend of mine who's also a single mom, and she's dealt with the teen years with her kids. And so I lean to her and go to her for advice and ask questions and say, hey, is this stage normal? You know, just asking those simple things. And I think that is so key, to have other parents that are also single parents that are going through it, that you can just ask those questions to. I think that that's so vital, and I think sometimes people don't give that enough. There are groups on social media of single parenthoods. Sometimes they're not all the best. Not all single parent groups are created equal, because unfortunately there are some that just want to bash and just talk badly, and I'm not about that. I want to create positive groups in that, and you know what, God may compel me to create a positive single parents group, I don't know, but you want good people to just reach out to and lean to and just be that shining light for you and just help you through those storms. Because again, you are not by yourself. You are not alone in this. We are all in this together. All of us single parents got to stick together. And not saying you can't have friends that are in relationships or that are married or whatever the case may be. Absolutely, join forces with all of those people. But they aren't going to always understand what you may be going through because they themselves aren't experiencing it. So definitely reach out to anyone that you feel can understand or help you in any way, shape, or form. But that is all I really wanted to share with you guys today. This was something that has been on my heart for the longest time. And I felt like this is something that every single parent needs to hear. Everyone. Because we think that we are failing, we think we're not strong, we think we can't do this, we think sometimes we may question, did we make the right decision to do this single parent thing? Sometimes it's by choice, sometimes it's not by choice, but either way, we sometimes will doubt ourselves thinking, did we make the right decision in doing this whole thing by ourselves? And I'm here to tell you yes, and that there is a blessing coming for you because you are doing amazing. You are working so hard. You are fighting for more for your family, and you're going to be rewarded for that. So I hope you guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe to this. And if you loved this episode, definitely share it out. Share it with somebody that may need to hear it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I love you. And until next time.